Atlanta were already filled with drama, but when Spice stepped onto the scene of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, things were bound to get even hotter. Spice, a dancehall queen with a reputation for being unapologetically bold, was no stranger to stirring up conflict. Possible that Spice, in her quest for drama, played a bigger role in the infamous Amy Bambi diss track saga than anyone realized. Began on a typical night in Atlanta, where the glitz of the city's music scene always provided the perfect backdrop for heated moments. Amy, an up-and-coming artist with a raw, unpolished style, had been gaining some traction in the industry. But with her success came criticism, especially from those in the circle who doubted her ability to truly break through. Among those who questioned Amy was Bambi, an established figure in the game who had her own personal and professional stakes in the music world. Amy and Bambi were no strangers to each other. They'd crossed paths many times before, but their relationship had always been tense, amicable on the surface, but fraught with underlying issues. Amy, who had a quiet, reserved demeanor, was used to being underestimated. Bambi, with her bold and brash personality, had long established herself as a force to be reckoned with. It didn't take long for their rivalry to become public, and it was only a matter of time before their differences reached a boiling point. The drama truly began when Spice entered the picture. Known for her role as a queen of Caribbean music, Spice had built her brand on fierce independence and sharp-witted lyrics. She was no stranger to drama, both on and off camera, and she had a way of getting under people's skin. But Spice wasn't just any newcomer to the love and hip-hop scene. She was a seasoned professional with a keen understanding of what made great television. And she knew exactly how to keep the cameras rolling with nothing but pure, unfiltered chaos. One evening, the three women found themselves in a studio together. It was supposed to be a neutral space, a place where they could discuss their music careers and maybe even collaborate. But Spice's presence was like a match thrown into dry grass, and the tension between Amy and Bambi was about to erupt. Spice, being the true professional that she was, saw an opportunity for fireworks. She wasn't in the business of avoiding conflict, she was in the business of creating it. And that's exactly what she did. Sitting back with a knowing grin, Spice casually began talking about Amy's growing popularity. "Y'all know Amy's out here doing big things, right?" she said, the words light but laced with a hidden agenda. "People are starting to notice her, but can she keep up with the real players in the game?" Bambi, already feeling the competitive burn, couldn't resist biting back. "I don't even pay attention to what she's doing. If she wants to talk big, she needs to prove she can walk the walk, not just talk the talk," she snapped. Her tone was sharp, her eyes narrowing with suspicion. Spice's words had struck a chord, and Bambi wasn't about to back down. But Amy wasn't about to let Bambi have the upper hand. She leaned in, her voice cool but assertive. "You think I can't handle my own? If you want to talk about it, we can settle it in the studio. I'm ready to show you what I've got." Spice's grin widened as she watched the two women begin to go toe-to-toe. She didn't even have to say much, just a few well-timed comments, and she had expertly placed the pieces on the chessboard. She could tell that the animosity between Amy and Bambi was ripe for the picking. All it needed was a little push, and the feud would explode in a way that no one would forget. The following days were filled with whispers and rumors. Amy and Bambi were both hard at work in the studio, each determined to prove herself superior. The idea of releasing diss tracks was already floating in the air. Spice, as always, was the mastermind in the background, feeding into the competitive fire, knowing full well that the more tension she could build, the more drama would unfold. Amy recorded her diss track first. The lyrics were sharp, filled with personal jabs aimed at Bambi's image and relationships. She called out Bambi for being nothing more than a pretty face in the industry, accusing her of riding on her husband's coattails. The track was a reflection of Amy's pent-up frustration, a release of all the insults she had endured from Bambi over the years. But Bambi wasn't one to back down. When she stepped into the studio, she poured all her anger into her response. Her diss track was a brutal takedown, calling out Amy's credibility and painting her as an amateur in a world full of professionals. Bambi's track wasn't just about throwing punches, it was about establishing her dominance and reminding Amy that she wasn't someone to be underestimated. The streets of Atlanta were on fire. Fans began picking sides, rallying behind their favorite artist. Amy's fans admired her raw, unfiltered approach, while Bambi's supporters saw her as the true queen of the scene. But no one could deny that Spice had successfully orchestrated one of the most talked about feuds in love and hip-hop history. As the drama unfolded, Spice maintained her position at the center of it all. She played both sides, remaining friendly with Amy and Bambi while secretly enjoying every moment of the chaos. She had always been a performer, and this was no different. She knew the cameras loved drama, and drama was exactly what she was serving. But was it really Spice who instigated everything? While she certainly played a role in fanning the flames, Amy and Bambi's animosity was already simmering beneath the surface. The diss tracks were just a symptom of deeper issues, personal insecurities, and unspoken rivalries. Spice merely provided the spark that lit the fire. She knew exactly how to manipulate the situation to get the best content for the show, but the feud was ultimately driven by the two women's own egos. The aftermath of the diss tracks saw no reconciliation between Amy and Bambi. Instead, their feud continued to escalate. Arguments, back-and-forth insults, and more studio sessions followed. Spice, for her part, remained a silent observer, watching as her influence turned into full-blown war. In the world of love and hip-hop Atlanta, this was exactly what the show needed: drama, chaos, and unforgettable moments. In the end, Spice didn't necessarily instigate the diss tracks, she just knew how to set the stage. The real question wasn't whether she was the cause of the rivalry, but whether the feud would ever truly end. Would Amy and Bambi ever mend their fractured relationship, or had Spice's subtle manipulation turned it into something that could never be undone? One thing was certain: in the world of love and hip-hop, Spice had proven once again that no one played the game quite like her. And the drama, as always, would continue.